Okay, so this project is actually a follow-up on research I conducted for my PhD thesis with the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences in the University of Cape Coast. During the research period, I made a number of findings that I felt did not have to be shelved, but followed through, involving the community to do something about the findings that were made. And so we reached out to the Lighthouse Foundation to support us with some funds to continue with the research we initiated from 2017 as part of my thesis. The work was actually focused on the Princess Town community and the Cape 3 Point community. And in conducting the assessment, I found out that year in, year out, the use of coastal ecosystems were changing, and also the land use, land cover structure of these areas were changing rapidly, where we conducted water quality assessments and saw that the water quality was in good condition generally. Just after 2 years, we came back to the community and we saw a great change, especially in the color and also the texture of the water bodies that we had assessed before. In our assessments, we found out that some of the ecosystems were at relatively medium risk to a set of indicators, a set of stresses that we identified in the communities, from cutting down of mangroves to encroachment of coastal spaces to decline in fish stocks. And more we see most of the people in the community losing their livelihoods, especially livelihoods related to fisheries. I would say this project has been very, very participatory. We have tried to involve stakeholders from various levels. We've involved both governmental and non-governmental stakeholders. We've also involved the community to a very large extent. Actually, from the time of the assessment, the communities have been involved largely in the various surveys we conducted. We conducted some socioeconomic surveys. We also conducted some economic assessments. We conducted ecological assessments. We conducted some participatory mapping. And in all of this, we involved the stakeholders largely. I must say this project is not implemented only by the Center for Coastal Management. We partnered with Hienum, which is an NGO that has been involved in community work in these various communities for several years. We also partnered with the Forestry Commission, the Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission, also because of the forest reserve that is in Cape 3 Point. We tapped from their knowledge about forest management in helping us to design a conducive management strategy for conserving the ecosystems in these areas. We are also hoping that the project will continue. On another scale, we want to involve the private sector, because one of the things also that stood up clearly in our assessments and also our engagement with the community was the opportunity to develop ecotourism and other sources of livelihood for the community. And so we are looking at how we can partner with private agencies as well to develop these potentials also in the communities.
Net no. Nina ya disika ana ya de eto ya na ahia hen. Ye kofiri krompo ye community yaka adesremu ayesremu. Mo page anji wo bi. Na mo so meboa ebeboa ma no.
Ebia be a month or two. Na ni hina wo bajan. Ohona wo use adboard no wo use patrol wo bajan. But say nya aqua fishing this Feel there. I don't overcome one year, no. You took me a call, and not your call. Catching them nibina. Yes, you use it. And Tim Rabbi will a chrome hanasa abandoned the berry by come on. Yabashe. New wait. See about to me as ya, near Sia. Young to me as ya bacade, the man did the opera yendo. And to be near. Or there, Yina Yajitum, Abana Nana, Hono Kitatum. And the Kitatum. Into the Mrabia but Chila, Yape.
First point, they come and quite and come there. Yawapuaha, Yayan and Yanam the dance, I can't conquer Papa and your pen power. Yep, say, son, you must send me from my man, when you're behind it. I will come and say,
I intend to actually continue with this work because this is just the beginning. Sensitization, advocacy for marine protected areas is what we have tried to do for this phase of the project. What I intend to do is to continue in the second phase of this COMADRIP project. And in the second phase, we want to actually empower the communities to have a functioning management plan for managing their coastal areas and the ecosystems within these areas. We are also hoping to get the buy-in and support of governments and other supporting agencies who can help us to scale up this idea, not only in these communities, but in other communities along the Ghanaian coast, because we are rapidly losing biodiversity, we are rapidly losing ecosystems through various anthropogenic activities. And we are hoping that as we get more people involved, as we speed up our advocacy activities, we will be able to get us more hands on deck to protect these ecosystems that we depend on. Because a lot of our activities, a lot of our economic activities as a people, especially in the coastal areas, are dependent on these ecosystems. I am calling on everybody to be concerned, to make the conscious effort to keep our coastal areas in good health.
Adwuma na oyeye no enya ade obo ni tim anaso obo ni sim no oyeye e ade a esi ewo ho no ye na owo nyina so yehu se bibi ukoso a enye papa a wo se ye toato adwen na ye ni ye akeka ne mebebe pese ye be hia se ye be ye adwuma na ye timi aboa
yare dwen ho at the very local scale no o me yenhwe big picture no na ye hu me se ye be plan ama se e dia development bi efi Accra reba yenhwe yen plan me se ye yen ama ye tum ye dey negotiate with ebia Accra fo no na one plan no ama we tum wa factor me ye into one plan
se mbotumi aboa yen ma se nam no ye fidi wo mo a e be san aba na ma aboa yen na ye tumi afidi wo mo mo ka se yen fa bibi fa aduane e be nya no se yen fa sa aduane amfa mo nam no na omo be ye yi a ye be bo modern aye susu ampa se agima bi eni ha ye ni sika na so sania ye be ya ye be nya nam bi ede ye be boa.
When it comes to getting of fish to feed the family, I think it should not be a problem. Because it's a problem, and so you are looking for the alternative. So we are talking to the expert to try and introduce a very good method.
I say about natural resources no buy. Then the thing be a kuta yen. Nti say bibia no say dey I say hwe because so only my entum tina assassin so.
O my ehu dey sana mangoes no ho no. Ono na anam no obatum. Nti say yentum ammo ho ba na no che dey e ma anam no so wonya bebi a oba abawo.
Na ide ehe na ajapade no oba ehe no ye be hwe ni ye. Ni nya mfaso wo ho. Ni yetum na ye de atena bebi a ye wo no. baby aro no wana ochire ha Germany ha Northwest dabo no ni na no o ya wiade ni na wo fapem one ha enti woma yenye na kakra professor no wo ho ye pede ye ya madachi ehu a buruni odu ha obotu eskansa wa ba 3 point.
Well, the observation with this project, working in partnership as a center with the Lighthouse Foundation in Hamburg, Germany, has been very phenomenal in the sense that academia has been able to partner with development program and then also with the community to bring to the fore some of the important issues to deal with when it comes to the creation of marine protected areas in Ghana. As you know, in Ghana, we do not have any marine protected sites. So this project brings to the fore very basic issues in terms of scientific ideas that can be harnessed for the creation of marine protected areas, working with all stakeholders. It's interesting to note through this project the zeal and the enthusiasm with which coastal communities in Princess Town and Cape 3 Points are forging ahead with ideas and concertedness, as well as a high level of interest towards the creation of these important sites around mangroves, around the coastal waters that can support fisheries development and as well as fisheries management, of course working with key stakeholders within the district and community. Myself and Dr. Isaac Autry conceived this project and selected Alberta, who had then enrolled in our PhD program in Integrated Coastal Zone Management. Given her background in marine spatial planning, we felt that she was really the best person to initiate this approach. And thankfully, we are very grateful for all the outputs of this project. And so we believe that her output has brought enormous attitudinal change, not just for her, because she's been able to build the needed capacity, and which she has been able to translate effectively through community sensitization of the findings and scientific findings. And it's evidence from what we have seen in this video that the community are really enthused and are very interested in pushing this agenda forward. And that is quite interesting in terms of how science can be brought to the local communities in terms of actual actions that can be on the ground.